All right, hello and welcome to this lesson where we're going to continue on with our activity, our main GUI here. And real quickly, I want to take these three layers that we just concluded with this icon right here, hit Control G. Actually, we'll have these four layers. Hit Control G while they're all selected. We'll just call this Action Overflow. And then we'll also take these three, hit Control G. We'll call this Plus. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to move this over just a tad bit so they're not so close together. And now what we want to do is add the actual items. So we're going to zoom up here just so we can get a better view of everything. And we'll go ahead and just Control left click. Or if you already have auto select layer, just left click once and it'll select the rectangle one. Let's call this the action bar. We're going to right click and duplicate it real quick. And move it down. All right, right around here is good. And we're going to give this a specific color code, so I'm going to double click on it. And I'm going to give it 8E79BB, hit OK. And then an opacity of 29%. All right, so now we need to put in the items, all the information inside of each one of these containers here. So we're going to hit Control H after selecting the type tool. And just right around here, I'm just going to left click. I'm going to indent because there's going to be a little drop icon that we put in there. And we're going to specify, just some type of fake sort of goal that a person may have. So run a marathon. Okay. And we're going to scale this down. That's around 60, maybe just a tad bit smaller. It's around 55. Okay. And over here, we're going to duplicate this layer, right click, duplicate layer, hit OK, hold shift, drag it over. And we're going to specify basically the other piece of information that the user will input for each of these drops, which is going to be kind of like a date, like when, like how long do we have left, basically. So I'm just going to put 3 years. All right there is good. And then we're going to come over here. We're going to put in a little icon that's going to be styled in this color. And it's just going to be a drop, like a water drop of sorts, something very simple, almost like this design right here. All right, so the way we'll do this is we'll take the pen tool, make sure it's in shape mode. All right, the fill color has a dark purple. Just choose this from recent colors. All right, and I could go to view and show grid. All right, so now we kind of have a grid just to see. I'm going to left click up here and maybe right around this grid point. Right around there, perhaps. Left click and drag out to create a Bezier curve. And right around there, just left click once. All right, so now we created half of one. And what we can do now is let's take a direct selection tool, make sure everything is selected. We'll hit Control C. Actually, what we'll do is right click, duplicate the layer. And we go to Control T, right click, flip horizontal. Right around there. Hit apply. Take them to, hit Control E, and that will merge them into a single shape. All right, so let's hit Control 1 just to zoom out a bit. I'm going to turn off the grid. And to kind of see what this looks like, turn down my volume there. I think it's a little bit bigger than what I want it to be. It definitely shouldn't be bigger than the text, so we'll zoom up real quick. Control T, scale that down roughly right around there, and apply. Maybe move that over just a tad bit, and that's much better. Okay, so now we want to take all of these layers here. I'm going to rename some of them real quick, and we want to make sure everything is kind of just there we go. We'll call this one container. It's basically 4 layers, so we'll hit Control G to group them up, and we'll just call this row. And now we will duplicate it. Right click, duplicate group. And we'll leave a little space in between each one of these, so it creates some sort of visual separation. All right, so we'll take these again, just both of those, right click, duplicate layers, hit OK, and drag down. All right. So just because we can, and there's not many items, let's go ahead and change some of these to different descriptions, just so we can get a better look of what it looks like instead of duplicated or replicated content. So we'll put visit the Grand Canyon, marry a second wife, and then engage in a bloody fist fight. There we go. And then also we'll change this up maybe in 5 years, and then marry a second wife definitely within 10 years, and then maybe 12 years right here. Okay, so we'll move this over again real quickly. All right, oops. All right, there we go. All right, so now we actually have some actual different data to look at real quick, just to see what it looks like. So if I zoom out, so far it looks pretty slick. Let's real quickly take the move tool with auto select layer. We'll just choose maybe the third one down, and we will increase the opacity real quick to show maybe what it looks like when a particular item has been already accomplished. I think that looks pretty good. There's a decent enough amount of difference between each row that it will signify items that are completed. All right, so it looks great. In the next lesson, we're going to focus on what happens when we click on add a drop, and so we'll design that activity. All right, I'll see you then.